Hello guys, and today we're going to be talking about a very important lesson in math, which is two equations. Now what is two equations? You must be wondering. Well, for real, two equations is actually where you have to find the variable when for both variables, two variables, when two equations are given. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Like, let's say, right now, x equal to 5 plus 5. You have to solve for x. And so, since x equal to 5 plus 5, you have to make sure that equals to 10. So these are called variables. They have a value. And sometimes, the point of the problem is to find out the value. And then solve it. Yeah. Well, not like it's really possible to really solve it. But the way to solve some equation is by finding the variable. And if you just think about it, it's basically quite simple. Like if you do x plus 1 equal to 5. You see, 4 plus 1 is 5, so we just do 5. But once it gets harder, you have to move into a process which is within, these are called linear equations. But right now, two equations is like linear equations combined. Well, don't worry, linear equations, I'll be doing a separate topic on that. So for now, let's say x equal to 5 plus 5. Okay, you already know this, right? And then let's say we have y, which is equal to x times 2 plus 3. Now, we know that x, now this is all 1, okay? This is in one problem. And we know that x equal to 5 plus 5. And so, we actually replace this x with a 5 plus 5. And we know that the value of 5 plus 5 is 10. So we put 10. Now we can solve the equation. By the way, forgot about the plus. So now 10 times 2 is equal to 20. Plus 3 equals to 23. And so y equals to 23. Simple, right? We'll go harder when it gets advanced. But don't worry, for now it's actually quite simple. In most cases, it's actually quite simple. Don't worry. Math is actually quite simple in most cases. So, now, I'll give you. So now, I'll do another example that is a bit harder. Y. Now let's say that A equal and A equals to, let's say, 6 times 7 plus 5. And now B, what is that? It is equal to. It is equal to, let's say, A times, let's say, 8. There. So now, you see, A equal to 6 times 7 plus 5. So the values of A and B is, so you see, 6 times 7 is 42 plus 5, which is 47. So the value of A is 47. Now let's leave that aside because we have to include A in another equation. Now 47 times 8, don't worry, I'll just use the algorithm. Don't worry, I'll just do it quick and easy. Blah, blah. Okay, so whatever, 47 times A is equal to 376. And so B equal to 376 because A is 47 and it has 8 times 8, which is 47 times 8, which is 376. 67, I believe, or something. Yeah. 367. Wait a second. Just a second. 7 times 8. Yeah. So, yeah, 367. Yeah. So, yeah. So, that's how we solve the basic problem. Now, let's move on a bit deeper into this. Now, I know this thing is called 2 equations, but it doesn't have to be 2 equations still. You see, they can even be 3 equations. Like, let me show you. Let's say A equal to... Okay, wait a second. Instead, this time, actually, these sort of equations can be used in many examples. Like, let's say this sort of triangle, okay? Let's say that this is A, this is B, this is C, okay? Now let's see that A is equal to B is equal to blah blah blah. So you see, here there are 3 variables, but it's possible to find out if we know any sort of thing of one variable. So let's say that we have 5 times, let's say 4 plus 3 times 4. Okay. And let's see, so now, and let's say that for C, it equals to, and let's see that for B equals to A plus A. Okay, I know that's simple. Now for C, let's say that it equals to perhaps B times 3 minus 2. Okay, so now let's start solving. So you see this A, it equals to 5 times 4 plus 3 times 4. Now, let's just use our things and combine the 3 and the 4 and add them because they're common. So it equals to 8 times 4, which is 32. So A equals to 32. Now C, on the other hand, move that there. Now C is actually B equal to A plus A. And A is 32. So 32 plus 32 is 64. And also, I forgot to note that A equal to 32. So we're just going to find all in like variables at the end. So now, wait a second. Just a second. So C equal to B times 3 minus 2. Now what's that? Now we know that B equals to 64. And so let's replace B with 64. Don't worry, this is not going to be any tough. And so, 64 times 3 is 192. And minus 2 equals to 190. And there's no other thing left, so C equal to 190. You see, that is how we find the values of all of this. And so, let's replace these values. These are more important. 190. And for B, it equals to 64. There. So now, in total at the end, let's just erase this to make it a little more like, So now, in the very end, this is our answer. Now, this is actually only one type of 2 equations. For real, now I'm going to be telling the advanced 2 linear equations. Yeah, so now for the advanced ones, you see, like so far, let's say that the first value that we have to find is just some sort of computation, okay? Like let's say 5 plus 5, and then the next one is according to A. But in the advanced ones, Wait a second. Yeah. But in the advanced ones, the first value that we have to figure out is going to have a variable to compute. And we don't know the values of the variable. So let's say that instead of having phi plus phi like a computation, let's say that there's phi plus b. And b is the next value we're going to figure out. We can't figure out without a. And a is needing the value of b. So both of them need each other. But we can't solve them both at the same time. So there's a method to this. You see, so we have to put either a and b into their equations. What do I mean? I mean, a is the value of phi plus b, right? So instead of computing it, we just leave it like that. So instead of the value, like the computed value of a, we just put a, just the uncomputed value of it. So let's just put phi plus b there. Now what we do? Good question. So, you see, there's two values of b, so let's combine them. Let's say that, perhaps, so let's bring maybe b to the other side. But the problem is, that doesn't work. So basically, for this one, there's no solution. So instead, let's say that there's b plus b. So now is going to be, b plus b equals to 2b, even though we still don't know the exact answer, because 2b is still a variable. So 2b. Now we can bring this 2b to the other side. And whenever any sort of like integer goes to the other side, its sign always changes. Like from one part of the equation to another, the sign always changes. Like the sign, and by sign I mean the sides from the equal sign. So to turn it to the other side, we must turn it into here b. And so it'll turn into minus 2b. So let's remove this, and let's don't include that thing. And so now, the minus 2b is here. And since there is no sign, this b means plus. So we just add that plus. And this. So now, we just compute with the variables. So minus 2b plus b equal to minus b. And now, hey, you might not find the value of a, but we still found the value of b. It's not about really doing the first variable, it's just that figuring out which variable to do first. And so, minus b equal to 5 times 10. And since this has no variable in it that needs to be found, we can just compute it. And 5 times 2 is actually 10. And now, minus means minus 1. So minus b equal to minus 1 times b. So let's bring that minus 1 to here. And so it equals to times minus 1. And what is 10 times minus 1? Yes, you know, minus 10. And so we know that right now this is the final answer of b. b equal to minus 10. And I thought we're finished solving the question. But hey, the only reason why we took the a was to solve the b so that we can later find the value of a. So we also got to find the value of a. So let's do that. So you see, b equal to minus 10. So let's replace these b's with minus 10s. And yeah, so there's a minus into plus, and you know, minus into plus equal to minus. So minus 10 into, like minus 10 plus minus, like minus 10 minus 10 equal to minus 20. So let's erase that and turn it into minus 20. And so a equal to minus 20. So we found both values, which is b equal to minus 10 and a equal to minus 20. And remember, you can also do this for other variables, like even more variables. Remember, it's just the same thing, except you just add more. And that you just need to find more. So yeah, so that's it for 2 equations, or more, let's say. So bye bye guys, see you next time.